Good morning. Good morning. Happy Tuesday. Gosh, nearly July. Oh, my Lord. You're welcome to start in a seated position or lie down this morning. So just choose whether you'd like to stay seated or come to recline. And if you have a block, I invite you to just pop one next to your mat this morning. If you don't have a block, you might grab a couple of books, hardcover books, or don't worry about the props. So just take these first few moments to arrive, to sit or lie down. And you might begin by sighing the breath away 2 or 3 times. Perhaps closing the eyes or having a soft downward glance. Just taking these first few moments to drift inside your body. Acknowledging that this is your time to spend in gentle contemplation with yourself. Without changing anything, notice what is here for you this morning. When we practice yoga, we find our way back to ourselves by moving down into the depths of our being, moving more deeply into self rather than out of self. So take this time now to just be with yourself without doing anything, finding your way back home. As you breathe in, you might say to yourself, I have arrived. And as you breathe out, I am home. Inhaling, I have arrived. And exhaling, I am home. Feeling completely supported and welcomed and nurtured in this place, in this moment. Winter provides the perfect opportunity for us to pause, to reflect, to be still, and to reconnect with our deepest essence and truth, which involves us spending some time dwelling in darkness, being with our light as well as our shadow. Thich Nhat Hanh famously stated, no mud, no lotus. Through our practice, we are endeavouring to accept the darkness and the light, the mud and the flower that blooms out of the mud. I'd like to begin by sharing a passage with you that I came across last week by a yoga teacher and writer, Ann Cushman. It's titled True Confessions of a Mindfulness Teacher. No mud, no lotus, Thich Nhat Hanh wrote. The human stuff of our life is the ground of awakening, not an obstacle to it. Seeing the muck of each other's lives didn't take away from our appreciation of the blossoms. It actually made us cherish their beauty even more. Paradoxically, over my decades of practice, it is through my mistakes and the innumerable ways that I have fallen short that I have learned the most about Dharma and yoga. Just as I learn about being present in those moments when I notice for the 3 billionth time that the riptide of my thoughts has swept me away. So I'm committed to continuing to include the sharing of real, human, imperfect stories as part of my awakening path. As a writer, I can choose to spin my webcam around and share with others the cobwebby corners that I might be tempted to hide. Spiritual teachings are beautiful ideals. Our actual practice is a temple built brick by hand-fired brick of the messy clay of our everyday lives. So the intention for our practice together this morning is to learn to dwell in darkness and to be okay with that, or actually to connect with the gifts, the gold available only in the darkness, and perhaps to find or be light within the darkness. As Jack Cornfield states, being on a spiritual path does not prevent you from facing times of darkness, but it teaches you how to use the darkness as a tool to grow. So I'm going to try to limit my talking during the practice this morning so that you can spend this time truly with yourself. And I thought we might begin with some breathing, Samavritti Pranayam, equal or square parts breathing in a seated position. So if you are lying down, I invite you to just start to deepen the breath and bring a little bit of movement into the fingers and toes, have a bit of a stretch, and then slowly come up to sit. And you might be sitting on some support. If you've got a block there, you might choose to sit on the block, or you might even be sitting in a chair. So just ensuring that the spine is nice and tall, shoulders relaxed, skin of the face soft. Again, the eyes are closed or just with a soft downward glance. Just aware of the breath flowing in and flowing out. And in a moment, we're going to see if we can work with a breath ratio of 4, 4, 4, 4. If you find it's a bit much, especially the pauses at this stage of practice, then you might just inhale 4, exhale 4, and worry about perhaps the pauses will come later on in the practice. But we're going to visualize a square now in our mind's eye and take our awareness down to the bottom left-hand corner of the square, exhaling all breath here. And then as we breathe into the count of 4, our attention is moving up the left side of that square to the left-hand corner, top corner. We pause for 4 as we move across the top of the square. 3, 4. Exhale down the right side of the square. 3, 4. And pause empty across the bottom of the square. 3, 4. So inhale, 2, 3, 4. Pause across the top. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Pause empty. Breathing in, 2, 3, 4. Pause. Breathing out, 2, 3, 4. Pause empty. Inhaling. Pause. Exhaling. Pause, empty. Inhale. Pause. Exhale. Pause, empty. Good. Do a couple more rounds in your own time, with or without the pauses. When you finish that last breath, just relax, release the breath. And you might like to have a little bit of a stretch forward, folding forward, perhaps sighing the breath away. And then in your own time, without rush, we're going to come up into a standing position. Come back to meet you on my mat. Coming into Tadasana and resting the hands over your heart space. Again, the eyes can be open or closed or with a soft downward glance. Hands resting over the heart. Again, softening the skin of the face, relaxing the shoulders. You might turn the sides of the mouth up slightly. And just working with a few more rounds of Samavriti Pranayama. So you can keep visualizing that square in your mind's eye or not. So just in your own time, and if it's too much for the pauses at this point in the practice, just focus on a long, smooth inhale and exhale without the pauses. Otherwise, it's equal parts. So 4, 4, 4, 4. So just a few rounds as we stand in our beautiful mountain pose. And after your next exhalation, release your arms down by your side. So we're going to try to continue working with that breath ratio and add an arm movement now. So let's exhale all breath. And then breathing in, 2, 3, 4, pause. Breathing out, 2, 3, 4, pause, empty. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, pause. Breathing out, 2, 3, 4, pause, empty. Inhaling. If you want to challenge yourself, we're coming up onto the balls of the feet now. Pausing, 2, 3, 4, exhaling, lowering down. pausing empty. 2, 3, 4. Inhale. Pausing. Exhale. Pause empty. Let's try a couple more, just counting your own breath. To this next exhalation, release. Sighing the breath away. And we'll move into Kati Chakrasana, so making sure you're not going to bump into anything, and then letting the arms freely swing around the waist. And taking the arms up to shoulder height. And all the way up overhead, looking up, stretching up tall. And back to shoulder height. And back around the waist. Just bringing the head back to center, let the arms slow down. And we'll go straight into 3 stale air removers, so legs are comfortable distance apart. Deep breath in as we stretch the arms up, and then blowing the breath out through the mouth. Legs bent or straight here. So 2 more. Inhale. And let it all go. Last one. Good. And then slowly coming up. Lifting your shoulders up towards your ears and roll the shoulders down the back. Good. Let's bring the hands onto the hips, and we're just going to do a little rotation for our ankles. So lift one foot up, doesn't matter which one, and just circling the foot nice and slowly. Trying to keep those shoulders relaxed, lengthening up through the crown top. And reversing. Good. And then we'll swap sides. Keep breathing. And reversing. And release it down. Now bringing the feet together and bending the legs, hands onto your knees, and making some nice little circles now with our knees. And reversing. Good. And release. And again, hands back onto our hips. We're doing a little bit of hip work now. So feet are a little bit closer together, lengthening up through the crown top. And we'll start by shifting the weight into the left foot as we breathe in and pick up the right. And then as we exhale, we're going to see if we can take this knee out to the side, trying to keep the hips facing forward as much as we can. Inhale, we take the leg behind, and exhale, place the foot down. And then we reverse, so lifting the foot up behind. Exhale out to the side. Inhale in front and lower. So now we do the other side. Breathing in, standing tall, breathing out to the side. Inhale behind, exhale lower. Bending the leg, exhale to the side, in front and lower. So let's do 2 more to each side. Breathing in, to the side, behind and down. Bending the leg, to the side, in front, down. Other side. Let's do 1 more to each side without my voice. Release the hands, take a breath. And we're going to work now with a flowing sequence which incorporates chair pose, Utkatasana, and our forward fold, Uttanasana. So we can keep the legs bent, especially if they're still feeling quite cold and tight this morning. So feet at hip width, standing nice and tall. As we breathe in, let's raise the arms up above the head. And as we exhale, we come into our imaginary chair. Inhale as we hold chair, and as we exhale, we tip forward. So this is where the legs can stay bent or straighten here. As we inhale, we lift up halfway, so fingers to the mat or on your shins. Exhale, lower, and just stay there for a breath. And then bend the legs, inhale into chair once again. Standing all the way up, palms together, and exhale. So let's try 4 more of these. Breathing in, into chair, Utkatasana. Pause here as we inhale, and tip forward, Uttanasana. Lift up halfway, and exhale, and we stay in the forward fold for a breath. Bend the legs into chair, standing tall, Tadasana. Inhale, Utkatasana. Breathe in, Uttanasana. Lift up halfway and lower and stay for a breath. Bend the legs into chair. Tadasana. Okay, last 2 again without my voice. Finish, just rest the hands over the heart, soften the shoulders, and take a breath or two here. Okay, let's work now with our flowing bird. And after we've done 5 or 6, we'll move down into down face dog pose. So when you're ready, inhale, again, raising the arms up. You might add a little bit of a baby back bend here. And as we exhale, we bend the legs, brush the fingers along the mat. Again, legs can stay bent or straighten here. Inhale, reverse, stretching up tall. And then arms come down by your side. Synchronizing the movement with your breath. Perhaps a little back bend. Exhale. Inhale. And arms by your side. Work at your own pace now. Now on the next one, we're going to stay in the forward fold. And then move into down face dog pose. So dropping the arms down, stepping the feet back, and holding dog. And you might like to bend one leg and then the other. Let the head and neck relax down, soften the skin of the face. You might blow the breath out through the mouth. Good, and then inhale, come down into cat. And exhale, extended child. Inhale, cat, tuck your toes, down face dog pose. Walk your feet towards your hands, take the arms up behind. Inhale, coming all the way up into beautiful bird, and exhale the arms by your side. So let's do a couple more of these. Breathing in and breathing out. Drop your hands to the mat, make your way into down face dog pose. Inhale, drop the knees into cat. And exhale, extended child. Inhale, cat, tuck your toes, down face dog pose. Walk your feet to your hands, arms up behind. Inhale. And exhale. Moving into dog. Inhale, cat. And exhale, child. And here we are pausing, making fists with the hands and resting our forehead on our fists, or option to release your arms back alongside you. As we pause here, take rest, be still, come back home. I have arrived. I am home. Okay, let's come back to Samavritti Pranayama, our square breathing, as we extend the arms forward. And in a moment, we're going to move into cat, pause,
And then back into child and pause empty. So we'll see if we can work with that breath ratio of 4, 4, 4, 4. But as I've mentioned, if the pauses don't feel right this morning, they don't have to be there. Just focus on long, smooth inhale, long, smooth exhale. So let's exhale all breath to begin. And then breathing in, 2, 3, 4, pause. Breathing out, 2, 3, 4, pause empty. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, pause. Exhaling, 2, 3, 4, pause empty. Inhale. Pause. Exhale. Pause empty. Keep going, we'll do a few more, then we're going to move back into dog. Enjoying working with cat, continuing in this way. Otherwise, the next time you come up into cat, pause and then tuck your toes, and we're moving back into down face dog pose. Now, those of you who like to work with a variation here, bring your feet together and we'll raise the right leg up. So coming into the three-legged dog, flexing the right foot, keeping the hips square. And then as you exhale, bringing that right knee towards your forehead. Inhale, stretch the right leg back. Exhale, knee to forehead. Inhale, back. Exhale, knee to forehead. Inhale, back, and then lower the right foot down. We'll do the same to the other side. So taking the left leg up. And exhale, knee to forehead. Inhale, back. Exhale, draw in. Take it up into the sky. And last one. And then lower the left foot down. Feel free to stay a couple more breaths in dog if you're happy. When you've had enough, lower your knees. And we come back to rest in our favourite version of child. Okay, so a choice now to either work with a bit more cat and dog or a bit stronger. I thought we could have a go at dolphin and low plank, so a bit of upper body strength work. Probably not good if you have any shoulder issues at the moment. So just choose if you'd like the gentler option or to come along with me as we move into dolphin. So for dolphin, we're going to interlace our fingers, the elbows are shoulder width apart. We're tucking our toes and then we lift Up, so onto the balls of the feet, pressing down into the forearms, lifting the shoulders up into the back, away from the ears. So the head is hanging down, but ideally not on the mat. Holding here. When you'd like to, just walking or stepping the feet back and coming into low plank. So the body's in a straight line. Breath is flowing. And when you want to change, you can wriggle your way back into dolphin. So moving between these two different poses for the next minute. And when we've all had enough, we'll meet back in child pose. You might choose to hold one of the two poses a little bit longer. So resting when you've had enough, otherwise another 30 seconds or so. And just finishing what you're doing, coming into child, if you're not already there, taking a rest. What's happening to the breath? Now, either staying in child, or you might lift onto the crown of the head, interlacing the fingers and lifting them over the head. Or we might do some yogi push-ups, up to 5 of these this morning. So either choosing to rest or be on the crown of the head, or come on up onto all fours. Your inner knees are together. Hands are shoulder width apart or just a little bit wider, fingers spread wide. As we exhale, we're lowering the front of the body down, drawing the elbows in. And as we inhale, we push straight up. So exhale, we lower down. Inhale, push up. So we might do up to 3 more of these. Squeeze the elbows in. When you finish, whatever you're doing again, we push back into child and take a breath or two. And then slowly coming up to kneel, either a low kneel or high, as we prepare now to do a few rounds of a kneeling salute. A nice tall spine, tuck the chin in a little, lengthening up through the crown top. So exhale all breath. And breathing in. And breathing out. Inhale, cat, tuck the toes. Down, face dog pose. Back into cat. And child. Sliding along the floor through into cobra, low cobra to begin. And back into extended child. 2 more. Stay with your breath, listening to the breath, watching the breath. When you finish this last one, again, hands resting over the heart, and take a breath or two here. Let's release the hands, and this is where you might like to grab your block or a couple of books. We're coming onto our knees. Any knee issues, you might pop some support under the knees. We'll take the block to the left side. You may not need the block, but I'll just show you if you want to try that. You can play around with the height. We're going to stay on our left knee and extend the right leg out. So we want ideally the right big toe to be in a straight line with the left knee, just to help with your alignment. It's a square facing forward. And then as we breathe in, we're going to raise the arms to shoulder height. As we exhale, we're going to tip over to the right side, extending the left arm up and perhaps over the head a little bit. And then we're breathing ourselves back to center, turning to the left. So fingertips might go down to the block. And this right arm up and perhaps over the head. Good. So let's continue. Inhale, come up. Turn to the right. Exhale. Just be careful of the neck. Breathe yourself to center. Turn to the left. And tipping over to the left side. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. This time we're going to hold. So exhale over to the right side and breathing into that left side of the torso as we hold, keeping the skin of the face soft. It's a gentle smile on your lips. And breathe yourself to center, turn to the left and tip over to the left side. So head might be in a neutral position, or you might be looking up underneath that right armpit. Pressing the right big toe into the mat. Enjoying that stretch down the whole right side of the body. Good. And then inhale, come up. And release the arms. Step that right foot in. You've got a block or book, swap it over to the other side. So now we're on our right knee, extending the left leg out, lining up our big toe with our right knee. And then when you're ready, breathe in, turn to the left and tipping over. Inhale, center, turn to the right and over to the right side. Good. Breathe in, tipping over to the left. Inhale, turn to the right and exhale. And exhale. And last one to each side. So now we're holding. Good. And then inhale to center, turn to the right and tipping over to the right side. And Breathing now down that whole left side of the body, enjoying the stretch. Get to neutral. Inhale, come up. And exhale. Step that leg in and come to sit down and stretch the legs out in front. You might give the legs a little bit of a rub, the knees, the thighs, your hips. So a few more slow circles with your feet, working into the ankles. Might be sitting up onto a blanket or a cushion. Reverse. Good. All right, so preparing now to work with the dynamic Paschimottanasana, coming back to Samavriti as well. So we're going to incorporate that breathing practice with our forward fold. So we're going to flow a few times, then we'll eventually hold the pose. So let's take our hands by our hips. Imagine we're pressing our feet against an imaginary wall, nice tall spine. So if you're like this is an indication that it would be good to sit on a cushion or a pillow to help tilt the pelvis forward. If we're back here, it's going to be really hard to lean forward. So you could even sit on the block, bolster, cushion. All right. So let's exhale all breath. Breathing in, 2, 3, 4, pause. Breathing out as we come forward, 2, 3, 4, pause, empty. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, pause. Exhale, coming forward, 2, 3, 4, pause, empty. Inhale, coming up. Pause. Exhale, coming forward. Pause, empty. Last one. Inhale, stretch the arms up. Pause. Exhale, come forward. Pause, empty. Now we're staying in the forward fold. You can drop that breathing pattern or continue as we hold here. On your next inhalation, slowly bring the arms up, pausing for a moment, and then bring your palms together and exhale, bring the hands down to the heart, resting the hands once more over the heart as you take a breath or two. Okay, again, you've got an option of either working with boat, Navasana, and you might like to Hold on to the opposite wrist under your knees and just lift up. So you might stay in a position like this morning. Or those of you like a little bit more of a challenge, another balance, but it's a little bit trickier. You can come along with me. So we bring the legs in, we make little loops with our fingers to hold on to our big toes, sitting up nice and tall. And then we see if we can straighten one leg or might be moving in that direction, might stay bent. And then if we can, we see if we can straighten the other leg as well. So it is a balance, it's pretty tricky. So legs can be bent like this, or you might be able to straighten them, but keep your gaze steady on something in front of you to help you with your balance. Keep breathing. Keep the chest, the heart moving forward. Just a little smile, or you're in boat. And when you've had enough, with grace, we try to lower down very gently and quietly. And let's all come into a diamond shape with the legs and gently fold forward. Slowly. All right, so I thought we might now work with a variation of Viparita Karaniasana, which is traditionally lying with the legs up the wall with a bolster under the buttocks. If you haven't got a great wall space near you, you can just, if you've got a block or even a couple of those hard covered books, you can do this with a bolster or a block. We can just do it, you can come along with me, but we can actually put the buttocks on the block or the books. And our spine is down on our mat. Make sure we're in a straight line. And then we take the legs up. So legs can be together. I'm dorsiflexing the feet here, so pushing the balls of the feet up towards the sky. Arms can be down alongside or overhead if that's comfortable for your shoulders, or resting on the body. We're going to try and stay here for 3 or 4 minutes, or just you're lying with the legs up the wall. You might, if you're feeling cold now, you might cover your lower legs with a blanket or a shawl. Make sure the back of the neck is long, so tuck the chin forward. You might like to close the eyes. And if you wear glasses, you might even like to remove the glasses at this point. So this pose is sometimes called the Great Rejuvenator. It's one of the most nourishing of all the restorative poses in yoga. It's a really good one to remember if you're feeling exhausted, really low in energy, lethargic. Give us a little boost of energy quite quickly. Just resting in this pose. Of course, you can come out early if it feels really uncomfortable, or you start to get tingly sensation in your feet or your legs. While you're in this pose, I'd like to share with you a favourite poem. Some of you may have heard this before, but it's a good reminder to come back to every now and then. It's called The Trough by Judy Brown. There is a trough in waves, a low spot where horizon disappears and only sky and water are our company. And there we lose our way unless we rest, knowing the wave will bring us to its crest again. There we may drown if we let fear hold us within its grip and shake us side to side.
and leave us flailing, torn, disoriented. But if we rest there in the trough, are silent, being with the low part of the wave, keeping our energy and noticing the shape of things, the flow, then time alone will bring us to another place where we can see horizon, see the land again, regain our sense of where we are and where we need to swim. So just another minute here. Very slowly, we'll lower the legs, and you can either lift, just roll to the side and remove any props underneath you, or come back to your mat if you need to. We're going to move into a gentle twist. So you can either do a supine twist lying down, or you can come up to sit as I am. So when you're ready, no rush, we'll raise our arms out to the side and then we'll twist to the left. Head may turn in the opposite direction to the knees. If you're lying down, otherwise if you're seated, you're looking over the left shoulder and breathing. Slowly bring everything back to center and twisting to the right. Slowly come back to center and release. Okay, so if you're lying down, I invite you now to come up to sit. We're going to work with another pranayama practice and then go into long guided relaxation this morning. So if you haven't already, you might want to pop socks on. I'm going to come up to be closer to you again. So sitting with a nice tall spine, you might again be sitting on some support on the block or pillow. And we're going to have a go at our alternate nostril breath, Nadi Shodhana Pranayama, with Samavritti. So we're combining two pranayama practices into one. Seeing if we can continue working with that breath ratio of 4, 4, 4, 4. But as I've mentioned throughout, if the pauses don't feel natural this morning, they don't have to be there. You might just inhale 4, exhale 4, or you might try inhaling for 6, exhaling for 6 or 8. Try to keep a balance with the inhale and exhale. So I'll count a couple of rounds with that breath ratio of 4, and then I'll give you some time to continue working with your own breath. So we usually take our dominant hand up. So I'm not mirroring you here. This is my right hand. Remembering if the arm gets tired, you can support the elbow with the opposite hand. You might close the eyes or have a soft downward glance. And we begin by exhaling all breath. And then we close the tip of the right nostril and inhale through the left. 2, 3, 4. Pause. Exhale right. 2, 3, 4. Pause empty. In right. Pause. 2, 3, 4. Out left. Pause empty. 2, 3, 4. In left. Pause. Out right. Pause empty. In right. Pause. Out left. Pause empty. Continuing, counting your own breath now for another few minutes. Make this your last round of breath with an exhalation through the left nostril. When you finish, just release the hand down, sit quietly, and just take a few breaths, breathing smoothly and evenly up the two sides of the nostrils, like there's a pyramid there. You're breathing up to the the peak, the top of the pyramid, little pause, and then exhaling smoothly and evenly down the two sides of the pyramid and pausing empty. And then gently release, blink the eyes open, and we'll come to lie down for Shavasana. Make sure that you are really comfortable and warm, removing any glasses, and perhaps sighing the breath away as you settle down, settle in. Perhaps saying to yourselves as you breathe in, I have arrived. I am home. I have arrived. I am home. Settling into a quiet, restful space. And just beginning by noticing any areas of tension within the body or the mind. Releasing any tension you feel in your belly. Imagining the inner organs in the belly, letting go of tension. Softening your eyes. Allowing them to feel warm and relaxed as if floating in a pool of water. Perhaps noticing some stronger sensations such as the tingling or twitching of a muscle or a ticklish feeling on your skin. Whatever comes into your awareness is okay. Just acknowledge it in the silence. Thoughts may float through your consciousness, just let them float on by. Feelings may bubble up from some deeper place within you. But you don't have to name the feelings or put any words to them. Just notice what is arising with gentle acceptance. Now I invite you to imagine that you are surrounded by and filled with darkness and silence, like a deep, dark night in the wilderness. Acknowledge that there is nothing to be afraid of here. The black, velvety darkness actually provides warmth and comfort. It has the potential to soothe you. It's a place or a state of being that allows you to restore and rest and nourish. So drop into the darkness a little more. Let yourself sink down, down, deeper and deeper. Not trying to make anything happen, just resting into this inner darkness, knowing that you are safe in this moment. You can simply be, breathing in and breathing out, giving up all struggle, all effort, all trying. And within this peaceful, quiet space, let us sense the healing powers of the body, the amazing ability of our soft animal body to restore damaged cells, to create new healthy cells, to bring balance to systems that have gotten out of whack. Let us acknowledge too, whilst we are resting in the dark, the creative powers of our minds and our hearts. From the mysterious inner regions comes all poetry, all music. From the inner dark emerges all sculpture and dance. All the art and cultures that are the heritages of humanity, even consciousness itself, the great unsolved mystery of science, resides in the deepest regions of ourselves. Continue to be with your breath and a still, quiet mood as you rest a while longer in the darkness with humility and awe and gratitude for all the gifts that a relationship with the dark offers you. And very, very slowly, start to bring your awareness back into your physical space, into your physical body, deepening the breath and bringing some movement into your fingers and toes. I'd like to have a bit of a stretch, do what feels good. And then you can quietly roll to one side and just curl up into a little ball, hug your knees in. I'd like to share just a few questions with you that you might like to ponder today or the rest of the week. As we navigate this season of exquisite darkness, a time of hibernation for so many plants, trees, animals, what needs to settle and rest within me? As we navigate this season of exquisite darkness, what needs to settle and rest within me? What needs some tender rest in my life? What needs some tender rest in my life? And what needs to hibernate? What needs to be surrounded by exquisite darkness in order to be released? And maybe when spring comes with more light, return to me in a new way. So what needs to hibernate in order to be released? And maybe when more light comes, return to me in a new way. And before we come up to sit, if you're not already, a beautiful passage from Mary Oliver. Someone I loved once gave me a box full of darkness. It took me years to understand that this too was a gift. One of my favourites. All right, let's come up to sit if you're still lying down, and we'll close with one Om. So if you'd like to join with me, bring the hands together at the heart. Exhale all breath. And then breathing in. Oh. Namaste. Thank you for joining me this Tuesday. Nice to see a few faces haven't seen for a while. Enjoy the rest of today. I think there's some blue sky out there. Hope there is where you are too. Lots of love and see you soon.